Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Obadiah. For those that know me, Stephen. Welcome to Divine Elijah Ravens Ministries. And I wanted to talk about a topic that is very confusing for a lot of us coming uh, the, out of the delusion of Christianity and Catholicism, as well as other organized religion, as we go back into learning the ways of the Most High and the Father, getting out of religion and following our spiritual path, the path that our ancestors and our forefathers and foremothers laid down for us. The topic I wanted to discuss with you guys is marriage. And marriage is a very confusing topic because there's a lot of deceit. There's a lot of beguilement going on, and as people who are coming out of the faith and looking to build a new life in the light of the Father. Now, first of all, let me say this. Ladies, this is not a anarchy, or this is not a testimony against you. In fact, this validates your position. The responsibility of a relationship and a marriage falls on the man. It does not necessarily fall on the woman. Now, I'm going to, as you always know, I use the Bible for references, point of references, to not only explain the point that I'm trying to get across, but to substantiate or support or validate whatever it is I'm saying. My beliefs are not my own. I do not adhere to beliefs. I do not hold on to beliefs. I only follow fact and truth. I do not have opinions. I do not hold on to opinions. I only follow fact and truth. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the understanding of marriage. Now, I'm going to use probably two or three points of reference as far as, how our forefathers conducted themselves and how we should conduct ourselves. First of all, this book, well, this is a very, very old book. I've had this book for almost 10 years. This is not a book, it's a collection of books. But this book right here, is the blueprint for how we can navigate our way in this cold and wicked world. The word Bible comes from the Greek word biblos, and the meaning of that means a collection of books. And the acronym for Bible is Basic Instruction Before Leaving Earth. So, that being said, these are a book of instructions on how we should conduct our lives. Now, let me say this. Nobody, and I mean nobody, that's why the scriptures say for all, including the Messiah, for all, from Cain, Abel, Seth, Methuselah, Enoch, from the sons of Adam until today, for all have been born into sin and come short of the glory of Elohim. for all. I don't care who you are. So everybody has some sort of mark that they have to bear before the Father. And everybody has some sort of transgression that they have to repent for. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get right into it. The topic of what we're talking about is marriage. And we need to understand the definition of marriage. Because a lot of people are miseducated on the foundation, and not only the foundation, the prerequisites or the requirement for what marriage is. And a lot of us think that, I did write this in my book, The Blind Can See. A lot of us think that marriage is a ceremony where you walk into the church and we all get dressed up. All men dress up in tuxedos. And there's a pastor or a minister or a representative of the state, whichever state you live in. And the woman comes out and goes to the man, and then they stand in front of the pastor and say, I do. And then they are automatically married. According to the eyes of Yah, that is tradition. And matter of fact, that's another reference. According to the eyes of Yah, that is tradition. That is not marriage. But the question is that tradition of our faith? Is that tradition of our culture? Or is that a tradition of the world? So let me go ahead and start off with Proverbs. Let me start off with Psalm 119. One of my favorite. Matter of fact, Psalm 119 is the largest psalm in the book of Psalms. Psalm 119, verse 1. Blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of Yahuwah. Blessed are they that keep his testimony, and that seek him with a whole heart. They also do no iniquity, they walk in his ways. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. So, Psalm 119, 1 through 4, is a testimony that, as I get into the definition of marriage, you will see why it's a testimony. But it's a testimony to those who turn from their wicked ways and walk in righteousness in the way of the Father. So, first of all, let me say this. Is sex marriage? By definition, according to the Torah, yes, sex is marriage. Now, that begs the question, if sex is marriage, everybody that I had sex with in my past, am I married too? By definition, by spiritual definition, yes, you are married to them. Now, here's why a lot of people say no. Remember with Yahshua? Matter of fact, let me I don't pre-plan my video. I mean, I know what I want to say. I know what the truth is. I know where I'm going in my testimony, but as I do my video, there are scriptures the Spirit reveals to me from within my mind and within, my heart, that I'm speaking to you. Anything that I say, I must give account for. So, let me share with you what our Messiah said about those who we join ourselves to. Is this woman in heaven and on earth? Is this woman my wife, even though I'm not no longer committed to her? So let's see what Yahshua said. Now, if everybody would turn to the Chronicle, if everybody would turn to the book of Matthew, and in the book of Matthew, I'm going to read what the disciples asked him concerning this very subject. Matthew 22. First, I'm going to start at verse 25. Okay? Now, verse 25 is in reference to what some call the Levirate law. The Levirate law states that if a man marries a woman and he passes away without leaving a child, the woman then is married to his brother. If that brother passes away and he leaves no seed, that woman is then married to the third brother, and so on and so on. And the disciples wanted to know if that's the case, if she's going from man to man, whose wife is she? So, there's another reference. In fact, there's another reference. After I read this. Okay, verse 25. Now, there were us 7 brethren at the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, having no issue, left his wife to his brother. And deceased means he died. Okay? So when you read left his wife, it doesn't mean he physically it doesn't mean he just up and walked out on his wife. He passed away. Okay. Now there were with us 7 brethren. And the first, when he had married a wife, deceived, and having no issue, no children, left his wife to his brother. Likewise the second also, and the third, to the 7th. And last of all, the woman died also. Therefore the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the 7th? For they all had her. And Yahshua answered and said unto them, Ye do err, no, not knowing the scripture, nor the power of Elohim. For the resurrection, they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of heaven. But are as the angels of Elohim in heaven. But as the touching of the resurrection of the dead, have ye not read that which was spoken unto you by Elohim, saying, I am the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob. Elohim is not the Elohim of the dead, but of the living. And when the multitude heard this, they were astonished at his teaching, at his doctrine, at his teaching. Then, in fact, this is also in reference to 1 John. I'm going to go to the book of John. book of John chapter 4. Now, in John chapter 4, it identifies the woman while she is on earth. Because in Matthew, they were asking about marriage. Okay, let me say this. We've heard the saying, as in heaven, so is it on earth. We've heard the prayer at the end of the prayer, may thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So we also know from our previous video that the Sabbath is observed not only on earth, the Sabbath is also observed in heaven. So, as in heaven, so is on earth. So that's what we read in Matthew, and that's what they were asking him. Whose wife, at the day of the resurrection, who would she belong to? So Yahshua was saying that she will not physically belong to any man, for all those men are brothers. They came from one seed. They came from one house. She will be joined unto their house as the angel of heaven. They will all be under one authority in one house. They will not belong to, no man will have authority over her. She will be under the authority of the king, just as the men are under the authority of their king. So, in John, we're going to go to John 4. And in John 4, when you read verse 9, it gives you the pretext to the parable. And the pretext of that parable is, when you read the scriptures, you have to ask yourself 5 questions. You have to ask yourself who, what, when, where, and why. And as you read each verse, you have to apply those 5 questions to every verse to get an understanding of the pretext, the climax, and the what they call it, it's a culmination of, or the meaning of the text. So, verse 9, it says, Then saith the woman of Samaria to him, How is it that thou, being a Hebrew, ask drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealing with the Samaritans. So, this is the pretext. The Hebrews did not intermarry with outside their tribe. The Hebrews did not intermarry outside their race. People like to say, well, God did not, God did not condemn, or God is not against interracial marriage. People like to say that, where in Deuteronomy and Ezra in John, there are plenty of books of inspiration of the Father that tells us not to marry outside of our nation and not to marry outside of our faith. So interracial marriage is regulated by the Father. It is regulated by the Father. But anyway, when I talk about interracial marriage, we're going to go forward and we're going to go forward. It's John chapter 4. We're going to read 13. I'm not going to read all of it. I encourage you to read 9 through 13 on your own. 13. Yahshua answered and said to her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. But whosoever drinketh the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of waters springing up into everlasting life. And the woman saith unto him, Sir, give me this water, that I may thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Yahshua said unto her, Go, call thy husband, and come hither. And the woman answered and said, I have no husband. And Joshua said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband. For thou hast 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. In that sayest thou truly. And the woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Now, this woman of Samaria was what we call by definition a whore. A woman who not only has sex with multiple men, but a woman who marries, divorces, remarries, divorces, remarries, and divorces. That is, by spiritual definition, a whore. Now, with that being said, according to the law, according to the truth, according to the word, a woman who is divorced cannot remarry. Matter of fact, that's Corinthians. Let me go to Corinthians. A woman who is married and gets a divorce, I'm going to get into the definition of marriage in a minute, cannot remarry until her husband, her ex-husband, passes away. You cannot, a divorced woman cannot remarry. Period. Okay, so we go into Corinthians. Let me see. Okay, I'm in Corinthians 14. Okay, that is the speaking of the church. Corinthians 14. Okay, we're gonna get out of Corinthians 14. Right, I have it highlighted. And we're gonna go into Corinthians 7. In Corinthians 7, it talks about the structure of marriage. You know. Okay, Corinthians 7, verse 2, verse 1, 2, and 3. Verse 1, 2, and 3 creates the precepts for a husband and a wife. The definition. It becomes man and woman to husband and wife. So, let me edify Corinthians verse 2. Verse 1, Now concerning the thing whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, now let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Now, in Corinthians 1:14, there seems to be a misunderstanding and a false teaching that this, by definition, details that a man cannot have more than one wife. That is a lie, that is an erroneous teaching, and that is a false precept. Now let me break this down. I also could go to back. I also can go back to Deuteronomy, which gives instruction and commandment to men. If a man takes another wife, her duty of her duty of clothing, food, and shelter shall he not diminish. Meaning that whatever he gives his first wife, his second wife should receive equal or more value than what he gives to his first wife. And that law had not been done away with. Nor did the Messiah, when he came on the scene, nor did he condemn men when he talked about divorce, nor did he condemn men who had more than one wife. Because if he did, he would have spoken about it. But he didn't speak about it. He didn't correct it. Because the Father established it first. Now, Corinthians 1:2, let every man have his own wife. When a man marries a woman, or when a man consummates a connection and a covenant with that woman, that is a single covenant that he has made with that woman. If another woman comes on the scene and she wants to be joined to that man, he then keeps his original covenant and he then creates a new covenant with that second woman. And he gives her and treats her as he treats his first wife. Now, and let every woman have her own husband. That means that every woman will be married to her husband, that one man. She will not be married to multiple husbands. There's no other way one day I'm gonna make a video about what they call polygamy. I really don't like talking about polygamy because polygamy is not something that needs to be focused on or educated on, because we're having trouble with monogamous marriages right now. There are a lot of marriages that simply don't work out, simply are very strained, simply don't grow, mainly because the man is not growing as a father, and and the woman is not satisfied with the leadership and the direction of a man. So, speaking about polygamy is not something I'm going to get into, but this verse is not the definition of a monogamous marriage. It is the foundation of a monogamous marriage. Now, let me go ahead and go forward to verse 10. But it's to the married, I command ye. But it's to the married, I command, not yet I, but Yahuwah. But as to the married, I command. Paul and I, this is the problem people have with Paul. Paul is not coming up with new commandments. He's simply confirming what is in the book of the prophet. That's all Paul is doing. He's confirming what is already written by the Father. So, but if she depart, let her remain married. Okay, I'm sorry. But it's to the married, I command, not yet I, but Yahuwah. Let not the wife depart from her husband. But if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband. And let not the husband put away her wife. So, if you leave your husband, you cannot go and marry somebody else. You cannot go and lay with somebody else. You have to remain on your own. You have to remain single. If you decide that you want to be under the head of your husband, or under the head of a man, you can either go back to your husband or you cannot remarry. Now, this brings me to another reference. Abraham and Hagar. When Abraham, Hagar left Abraham's house because of Sarah. And the angel of Yahuwah went to Hagar and told Hagar, where are you going? And Hagar told him, I am leaving my master Abraham's house because I'm not welcome. I don't feel welcome in that house. And the angel of Yahuwah told Hagar what? To return to your master's house. So when Hagar returned to Abraham's house, Abraham sensed the tension between Hagar and Sarah. Even though Sarah set up the whole thing, the spirit of envy and jealousy was on Sarah. It wasn't on Hagar, it wasn't on Abraham. That's why Sarah apologized to her husband. She said, my wrong be upon thee. That was Sarah apologizing to her husband for the spirit of her jealousy and the spirit of envy. But regardless, Abraham wanted peace in his house. So he told Hagar, get your thing together, and I'm going to move you away from my home. And Hagar moved Abraham moved Hagar. It's possible that they moved back. It's possible that they went back into Egypt, or on the border of Egypt. But regardless, after Abraham removed Hagar from his home and set up a secondary home for her, Abraham continued to see Ishmael. He continued to go back and check up on Ishmael and Hagar while living with Sarah and Isaac. Hagar was still his wife. Hagar did not remarry. Matter of fact, there's an example of Jacob and Judah and Tamar. When Tamar was supposed to marry Judah's son, his first son, Yahuwah struck down Judah's first son. In the process of time, Judah promised Tamar, his youngest son, after he was of age, bearable age, he would give his youngest son to Tamar, to wife. However, as his youngest son became of age, Tamar deceitfully went out and put on